let's get to my get one and only guest of the evening, representing Sacramento, California. You can catch her on the Slap Frost tour. She got an album out, The Hip Hop Witch, available on all the platforms right now. I'm joined with Moon Magic. She is with me right now. How's it going?
Hey, what's good? Good evening. How are you?
Good, good. Thank you so much for being on the show this evening. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate you.
So I got a chance to hear the album, the Hip Hop Witch, and it's an incredible record. Definitely enjoy it. So this is an incredible body of work. So props to you on that, for real, for real.
Thank you. Thank you for checking it out. I'm glad you appreciated it.
Yeah, absolutely. So we got a lot to get into, obviously. Um, I want to start off with you being part of the Slap Frost tour. So that's been going on for 7 years now, and you was there earlier this year. You're about to do more shows with them at some point. So talk about just the Slap Frost tour in general, and how's it like to be a part of that tour with just literally all independent hip hop artists.
Yeah, the Slash Rock tour is an amazing tour. It's an amazing group of people. It's been such an honor to be part of the tour, and I'm looking forward to getting back on the road in July. We have a small 5-day wiggle happening July 6th through 10th, and then there's some talk about some shows later in the year, in November. The Slap Rock has been, like you said, happening for 7 years. It was originally started by DJ True Justice, Vocab Slick, and Z-Man, who are all a part of the tour. Z-Man hosts. DJ True Justice is a part of Justin's Case, which is one of the acts on the tour. And then Vocab Slick is also one of the acts on the tour. And, they were friends who came together and, found a way to make an independent hip hop tour happen. Since it's something that you don't get to see as much, right? You got to have like a big label backing you. And so they were kind of making that space for underground artists. And they've been rocking ever since. And it's just been an honor to be part of it this year. Every year they take on a newer artist, an emerging artist, and kind of bring them on and show them the ropes and kind of, let them get down and kind of see how it's done and give them that exposure and love. And so I was the baby of the year. And it was a pleasure to go with them and, rock out with them. And, they're all got hella game and things you can learn from. It was a lot of big homie, big bro energy and just a lot of jokes on the road and just having hella fun, on and off the stage. So it was a great time in the Midwest when we went in March, and I look forward to our summer run and the shows that we do in the future. Because yeah, every time on the road with them is a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. What I admire about the Slap Frost tour, because what I admire about it is it's literally a independent underground hip hop tour. No mainstream
hmm
artists on this tour. This is all independent underground hip hop, and a lot of artists that's been looking for an opportunity, a platform per se, and Slack Frost Tour has it on display for vocab, true justice. My good friend Wamil from the same neck of the woods here in Kentucky. Shout out to him. What up, Wamil? And just the list goes on and on. And you, of course, you representing for the ladies, obviously. So you're gonna represent.
Yeah.
Show the ladies, hold their own 2 feet hip hop wise. So it has to be awesome being a part of a tour like this when it's only independent
Yeah,
hip hop
a lot of the
artists.
artists actually who've been on the Slap Rock tour in the past actually have headlined their own independent hip hop tours themselves. Now presently since they've worked with Slap Rock, so it's definitely for any independent hip hop artist and just for that lane. There's not many tours happening like that, and it's definitely something that helps independent artists all around.
Yeah, absolutely. So for more info on the Slap Frost tour, you can check out their website at slapfrost.com. At slapfrost.com. They give you all the tour dates. They can give you all the info and all the artists that's going to be performing. And you just heard one of the performers that's going to be on that tour again for the summer. Moon Magic, Vocab, True Justice with Mill, and a plethora of other independent artists. Um, Go check it out, man. Especially if you want to support independent hip hop, that underground hip hop. So definitely go check that out. So Moon Magic. So what do you do in your free time when you're not on the tour? Is it you working on new music? You doing anything in particular? What do you like to do in your free time outside of Slap Foss tour?
Man, I'm actually like a very business focused. I feel like I'm very heavy on my grind. A lot of times I actually have to remind myself to take breaks and to have free time. I teach a lot outside of working, doing music. So I used to be a full-time teacher, but I left that to pursue music full-time. And so I still substitute teach and do like hip hop workshops, and other kind of education workshops in the school system. Um, and I also do a lot of tarot readings and really big into like the mystic arts and that whole field of stuff. Um, but when I'm not, working my grind and all that good stuff, honestly, I just like to chill, chill by nature, and I like watching a lot of like game shows, reality TV shows, Disney movies. I'll binge watch Disney movies. Heck yeah. I feel like there's a nostalgic childlike feel to it. Um, and just go out, have a good time, kick it with friends, enjoy music without having to create it. Um, all like full circle type of moments and just be human.
Yeah, shout out to the Disney kids out there. You know, people, we appreciate Disney on this show. We love Disney. Disney plus all the cartoons growing up, all the TV shows they got on reruns, like a Even Stevens, Lizzie McGuire, things of that
Yeah.
nature. So, look, I
I've been
admit,
currently watching Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan, have you been
yeah,
seeing that?
yeah,
It's good. It's been
yeah,
a good off time
absolutely.
thing to do.
Yeah, so you mentioned your education background, and I looked up some things about you, and you are very, very educated female. Got all these degrees left and right. I mean, I see. I'm looking at this right now. You got a master's in urban education. You got a bachelor's in political science. You even got a degree focused on multicultural leadership in Spanish. So I'm listening. I got a very well-rounded person on the phone here. Like you on your grind literally. So respect to you, Moon Magic.
Thank you.
So uh, let's talk about the Hip Hop Rich album, which came out this year. I like some of the tracks. Chilling in My Room. I love that one. This is a chilling show per se. So anyone that has chilling, or was this whether it's spelled ing or without the ing, you're automatically good on this show. You're good with me in particular. So I
Hey,
like
that's
this.
right. We chilling.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and I also like the colors joint. I like the mash boogie. So this album's been out for quite some time. What was it like putting this album together, and what made you decide to name it the Hip Hop Rich?
Yeah. Well, one, thank you so much for checking it out, and I'm glad you enjoyed it. It was quite a process. One, I have a couple of album projects out before that, and I was in a place with my sound and my artistry where I really wanted to challenge myself to create my own music myself, just so I could, have a launch committee, and I, just wanted to kind of, just continue to grow in that way and be able to perform some of the music that I do live, but also just be able to create the sound itself and kind of dive deeper into searching for what my sound is as an artist and what the vibe is instead of, always having to match, what a producer gives me, which, sometimes is amazing because, they can sometimes create a vibe that I was like, oh, didn't even think about this, but this is a vibe, Um, but I wanted to kind of challenge myself to build that relationship with the music and to kind of just take it to that next level. Um, and so that was it kind of started during the quarantine time when 2020 happened. I took some workshops on more production and mixing and mastering and all that kind of stuff. And my grandma actually passed in 2021. And so I feel like that just kind of deepened that whole process of what that music was and just the trials and things. I had my brother was hospitalized at the end of the year too. There's like just a bunch of things happening in those years that were real transformative for me. And so I feel like I poured a lot of that into the music, and I feel like Colors is actually one of the tracks that really conceptually the music videos too I was able to really display. I feel like a lot of that journey, but yeah, it was a process, and the Hip Hop Witch and why it was titled that kind of was, I wanted to explain what those two things meant to me. I've always loved hip hop and been a hip hop head, and growing up in a predominantly Black and Brown community and a poorer community, I feel like it's always been the urban community has always been a big part of my heart and who I am as a person. And then just also my spiritual growth and healing journey and decolonization journey and how that's led me to witchcraft, and that path is also a big part of who I am. And a lot of people will be like, man, those two things don't seem to go together, but I feel like the way that the world's turned and transformed since 2020 has opened people up to these things that they might have not been open up to before. And I wanted to give a chance to tell what that meant to me before all these other people hopped onto the spiritual bandwagon, so to say, and wrote that narrative from a more corporatized story. I wanted to be like, this is what it means to me from a hip hop perspective, and I actually ended up finding this documentary called The Hip Hop Witch in that journey. And there's some of the samples you'll see is from that documentary. Which is like an old school documentary from like the Blair Witch Project time that video came out. That this guy was running around independent film asking people if they heard the Hip Hop Witch. So I just kind of, I had been calling myself that already, and then I found out about that. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm the myth. I'm the witch. I feel like the album kind of shows like the full spectrum of what that is. It's not just about, people can hear that and there's like a shock value to it, and it might be like scary or weird or uncomfortable to some, but I think that's because the work of what it really means to me to be a witch is kind of uncomfortable and scary. It's about, getting to know deeper parts of ourselves and working to heal parts of ourselves that we've tucked away from everybody else because we've deemed it, it's not okay to show to people. But yet it affects our daily life. It shows up in how we subconsciously behave, and so it's really just like an album of all that journey of healing and self-discovery and the full spectrum, from chilling in my room, being a little bit more flirty and, just vibing like away, to the more, lyrical, just going in like Moon's Lab and Mash Boogie, to the more, releasing and letting go and accepting all the different things that life throws at us, which I feel like that's what Colors represents for me, So it just kind of, was a way to introduce who I feel like I am as an artist and what that term meant for me and why I was calling myself that.
Yeah, that's the thing with hip hop is that you get to embrace who you are, being authentic. I mean, that's what people want. Some people want it. People want the shock value, but at the same, for the most part, for me as a hip hop listener, I definitely want to hear who you are about, how you feeling about certain things in this world, and you stay true to yourself. You've been authentic, and I feel like fans are really gonna rock with you and vibe and feel the vibe one way or another. And I'm cool with that. Be who you are, embrace who you are. Some people will get it, some people don't. But as long as they recognize the talent and see that you repping it, represent for yourself, then at the end of the day, that's all that matters. You
Yeah.
being who you are, and I respect that. And anybody should
Mhm.
respect that for real. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, and I have a lot of love, for the history of hip hop, and always learning. I'm not going to claim to be no expert when it comes to hip hop history, but one thing I respect about the old school generation is the originality, and that being such a focus. And so I wanted to also like being able to call my hop Butch is like this is me being original to the things that are important to me and explaining parts of myself that I feel like a lot of people would not understand because if you're looking at those who know me in a white community are gonna not really understand the hip hop aspect of who I am and even the witch aspect. They might think that's a little too woo woo for them, and vice versa. It's like kind of introducing people to these terms and you know what it means to me from an authentic perspective and point of view.
Yeah, people in general may not understand hip hop, period, but it's a style that's been going on for a long time, and it's not going anywhere. There's going to be more artists being inspired, wanting to put themselves out there in the forefront, and as long as you stay true to yourself, then that's all good. People gonna recognize good music, and I feel like you definitely represent the good music. You definitely rep hip hop, just being who you are. And this album resonates with a lot of folks. Just she's different. She's bringing something different, different style, different feel, different vibe, and you know that's cool. So props to you, Moon Magic. You got a cool name, Moon Magic, and
Thank you.
you I'd say you and Sabrina are the teenage witch, definitely the coolest witches I know. That's all I'm gonna say. So I see that I see that you are inspired by artists like MF Doom, Google, Erica Badu, and even Janis Joplin. So with that being said, talk about those artists that you are influenced by. Talk about what stood out to them for you as an artist, as an MC.
Yeah. Erica Badu, I'll go with first. I always call her Mama Badu. I got the pleasure to meet her in 2019 at one of the shows that she did in the Bay Area. And I just feel like she's a magical person. Her very vibration of who she is. And even though she's more on a soulful level, which I feel like, I like to play with melodies and play with my voice and not just rap, but sometimes, sing and incorporate a little bit more melodies into it. And I definitely pull on Erica Badu for inspiration for that. And also Janis Joplin, I feel like that's where that comes from too. She has a more like her when her soul, is you could hear the pain that she's been through. She has this like raspiness a little bit to her, and I feel like my voice, it has that kind of blues, soulful sound in the same way that Janice had. Um, uh, and but production wise and bars wise, I feel like that's where MF Doom comes in. Just the fact that he was an MC and also a producer and produced his own stuff, I think is very inspirational. Um, Mash Boogie, if you hear like all the little samples and sounds, and that one in Moon's Lab, I feel like that was very production wise inspired by MF Doom. And then Guru's just a lyrical monster, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
um, and more than just that, he always drops gems too, but he does it in such like a swag way. It's stylish.
Yeah.
It's not it's not lame. It's not in a way that's like just cheesy or fake. Um, and so those are some things that kind of stand out about all of them. Is their lyrical capabilities, their melodies, and then just who they are as people. I think MF Doom also had that he had the mask. He was this, that same kind of coming from that era of like that originality, that I feel like me calling myself the hip hop witch is inspired from, um, and yeah, and I just think each of them have something you can learn from, and if you mesh them all together, I feel like you kind of get the sound of my music and could hear my inspiration by each of them for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. MF Doom, that's a legend, especially on the underground. He stayed true to himself
Yeah, rest
throughout
in
his
power, man.
yeah, rest in
He was
power.
such a good.
She MF Doom, just his name, the mask, the lyrical ability, he's well respected. And just yeah, it is just months removed, and it's still hard to believe that he's gone. But he will forever be loved. He'll never be forgotten. He'll be remembered by artists like you, fans like me, that appreciate what he brought to hip hop, especially from my underground
Mhm.
side of things. I need to go to an Erica Badu concert one day because that's an experiment. You can get the feels, you don't get any feelings going to an Erica
Oh yeah,
Badu
it's like a
concert.
healing ceremony.
Healing, yeah, there you go. Healing, yeah. If you're going through some drama, going to that concert, you are guaranteed you're gonna be feeling better. You're gonna be all that negative energy you had it just went away, and I feel like
Hmm.
that's how music is. Like it gets you a way to get you out of personal stuff for a few hours, and you come out there like, man, it was worth the ticket. It was definitely worth the ticket. You can catch Moon Magic on the summer leg of the Slack Frost tour. It begins in July. Go to slackfrost.com for all the details. Follow Moon Magic. She's on all of the social media platforms. Look up Moon Magic. She's in there. And go check out her latest record, the Hip Hop Rich. It is available on all digital music platforms. And show your support. And before I let you go, Moon Magic, I've been doing what is called the Music Monday shows. Every first Monday, I play independent hip hop and R&B. And since you're on the phone with me right now, I just want to let you know that, ironically, since you're about to go back on tour anyway, that starting on July the 4th, you're going to be added to the hip hop rotation. So,
Hey, that's
yeah,
right.
I'm adding the hip hop rich on the playlist the hip hop rotation at least. So I just wanted to let you know that, and thank you for being on the show
Thank
tonight.
you.
Thank you for your presence this evening. Just bringing some different vibes. I appreciate you. Congrats on everything, and with the tour and the new tour ahead. Thank you for your time. Continued success, and I look forward to hearing more from you in the future. I appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. Y'all can find me at Moon Magic Flows. MoonMagicFlows.com is the website, and I look forward to being back on the show.
Yeah, absolutely. You take care. Have a good night. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
You too. Peace. Happy
Uh,
Father's Day to all the fathers out there.
Absolutely. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. You have a good night.